What is up, fellas? It is Shawn P. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my review of H1Z1. We've been hearing about it. I got my gameplay going today. It was just released yesterday, so I'm gonna let you guys know what my first impressions of the game was. Obviously, there's lots of errors, lots of bugs that need to be fixed and addressed immediately. I'm gonna let you guys know about those and what I think your approach to the game should be this early on. If you haven't purchased it yet and you have questions in your head, I'm gonna go ahead and cover those, and we'll get into the gameplay. So immediately, number one on my list that I think needs to be addressed is the login issues. There are lots of login issues with H1Z1 right now. For instance, when I was trying to get on the server after I had purchased the game, it took me about 7 different tries. Now we're expecting those kind of issues. They're going to be popping up. They're going to be happening. The game was just released less than 24 hours ago, so it's going to happen. But for those who are going to buy the game, you're going to notice when you try logging in, there's going to be issues getting on any server, whether it's low pop, medium pop, high pop. You're going to get a loading screen. You're going to get put into a queue. So when you wait in your queue and your time comes, you'll notice you'll probably get kicked off and you'll have to redo it again. Again, while you're waiting in the queue, you might get kicked off then too. So it's an ongoing issue. You need to just keep trying to get in these games. Eventually you will manage to get yourself on a server and you'll begin your H1Z1 journey. However, you do need to expect that and be ready for that, because it can be a little frustrating. So with that first and foremost out of the way, secondly, when you get into a server and you get your gameplay going, it's really nice. You go through your menu, you learn a few of the buttons that you need to do, your keybinds and whatnot. They're pretty much the same as most MMOs that you play as far as movement, interaction, reload, whatnot. So you get in the game, you start running around, you get to explore the map a little bit, and surprisingly you might run into people right off the bat. It makes me think that most of the spawn points, there might be just a few. Either way, I don't even know how many people these servers really hold yet. I didn't do much of the researching before I got the game. I just wanted to jump right into it. To me, that's the best way to get into a game, is just to get the full feel. But you immediately get out there and start searching when you get into this game. I spawned in the woods and I ran around for a good while before I found any kind of housing, any kind of vehicles. But once I did, that's where issue number 2 came in. Issue number 2 is the interaction. You have a keybind, which I think by default is E. So that is your interact button. When you come to doors, when you come to vehicles, when you come to tool sheds, toolboxes, whatever the case may be, E is your interact button. Now that's problem number 2, is because it does not work the majority of the time. You hit E to interact with things, you'll see that it does like a little load type thing. It does a little countdown of 5, and you wait there and nothing happens. Then you move on and you notice that the inventory menu will pop up. All of a sudden you're interacting with this object that is now 10 feet behind you. So it's a little funky, it's a little weird, it's going to take some getting used to. So that's my issue number 2, and it's a big issue. You want to be able to interact and immediately search through the drawers, the cabinets. You want to get into a vehicle and you want to see what parts this vehicle may need to get going, and you can't do it. So with that one, that's the biggest one to me. Obviously, it's just day number 2, and I hope they address those first 2 issues really quickly, because those obviously impede on our enjoyment of the game. If you're not very patient with those kind of things, don't get this game yet. Wait a week, wait 2 weeks, wait until they've addressed these issues, because otherwise you're going to be severely disappointed. And if that's going to be an issue for you not to come back to the game, then don't jump into it right now. Just take some time. It's going to be getting worked on here soon. We just need to be patient with it. Another gripe, and this one's small, is that the days seem to fly by. I don't know what kind of schedule the time zone's on, or how many minutes night lasts and how many minutes daytime lasts, but it seemed to go by really fast when I was playing. I logged in, it was nighttime, and during my gameplay, which was about an hour, I had already entered the second night. So, take that as you will. 30 minutes of daytime, 30 minutes of nighttime, I don't know. But for those of us who like playing strictly on daytime servers when it comes to games like DayZ, I don't know if that's going to be an option here. Now, obviously, that goes based off of the servers, hopefully, and some servers will have longer daytime hours so we can enjoy the daytime, because in games like this you can only make nighttime so interesting. It's going to be black and gray and white most of the time, and just that doesn't give us the in-depth gamer atmosphere that some of us seek, you know. So unfortunately, that was another thing that I'll have to hit this game on the head for. Once again, that can hopefully be adjusted in servers, and it's based off of the server admins, but on this specific server that I played on, particular server I played on, I noticed that, and for me that's a big X. The next big point for me is the lack of items. Okay, so it's bad enough right now that you can't interact very well or consistently with the items or the environment around you, the cabinets, the shelves, the refrigerators. It's rare that your interact button, which is E, actually works to go through these, you know, shelves and whatnot. But when it actually does work and you're actually able to go through the cabinets, there's nothing in there. The only stuff that I found was actually on shelf tops, on the tops of the desk and whatnot. When I was able to look inside of the refrigerators, the toolboxes, the wrecked vehicles, I found nothing. And I interacted with quite a few items, and I never found anything inside any of them. Now, that could be because they were already gone through before I got there. I obviously ran into a lot of people while I played on my server, so there's a good chance that all that stuff was, you know, picked out before I could get there. But still, you know, it didn't give me the joy that I would have had to find something. So that's another hit for me. I was able to find, you know, a t-shirt, a baseball cap. At the end I found a twig, which was cool. You know, I picked it up like a weapon, so that was great. I even was able to tear up a shirt and make rags or bandages out of it, just like you would in other games, which was great. But I was really hoping to find some cool stuff. I wanted to find some food, you know. I wanted to find some drinks, maybe even a weapon. That would have been great, a knife. I found nothing, so that's just a hit on this one. I've only played an hour. For those who have played longer than that, they've probably had way more luck. I'm going to be back on there later on with my buddy, and we're going to go back through the world and see what we can find. But for right now, that was kind of a hit, so, you know, take that as you may. Now, for the little world things, there were things such as like zombies bugging out, sounds bugging out, things that you should definitely anticipate, you should definitely be ready and expect, because it is only early release, you know, it's not polished yet. So of course there were things like zombies lagging through the ground, through walls. There were even zombies walking up in the sky, which was fantastic. And then there's, you know, small sound bugs that at multiple times it sounded like maybe a vehicle was in the area, maybe there was a plane flying overhead. Obviously nothing was around me though. And even songs would start getting intense, like if something great and crazy was gonna happen, and it was like in one of the most desolate areas in the game. I was walking through an empty warehouse with nobody around me, so it was like, you know, it was a little strange, but also the sound effects are also great at the same time. I don't ever really get spooked out when I play a game like DayZ. There's rarely spooky moments, only when you're interacting with actual other players who are coming to kill you. In H1Z1, some of the sounds alone made me scared. A creaking door, you know, pipes jingling or something like that. It really kind of gave you that feeling you get when you play certain console games that you are involved in, and the sounds alone can make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. So I got to give H1Z1 that. I haven't had that happen with another MMO yet. Now, for the greener side of things, the better things I really enjoy about this game early on is one-player interaction. Not everybody is out to kill you, which is fantastic. Like DayZ, when you run into people, you're probably gonna die. On here, everybody seems to be trying to work together this early on. Now, I'm pretty sure that's gonna change later on, also depending on the server that you pick, but right now it's great. I ran into quite a few people, and all we did was kind of talk to each other. Somebody showed me where some twigs were, so I went and picked up one like a weapon. It was great. That's interaction that some of us really enjoy that you really don't get to get inside these kind of survival MMOs. So right now, that's fantastic. If you're playing, take advantage of it, because it won't be there long. Number two, the biggest thing is the server options that you get out there. Now, there are quite a few different servers. There are different options that you can pick, and what I mean by that is some mix and match. There's a rules legend when you log into the game, and it tells you the server that you're picking what it's desired for, what they have it designed for. Now what I mean by that is you can play PvP, you can play PvE only, headshots only, recipe wipe, battle royal, and first person only. So the server that you're going to will have icons displayed of what that server is going to be like. Now I'm going to go into a quick description of what these mean. So for the PvP servers, it means players can kill other players. So if you go on there, you should be expecting that if you run into somebody, it's going down. It's about to get real. On a PvE only server, that's players versus environment, it's where you'll probably work with other players, and the main goal is to survive, kill zombies, and do all the other cool interactive things that you can do in this game. Maybe kill animals and cook them up, or make really neat objects and items that they have in the game. So it's pretty much you going out and exploring everything that the game has to offer outside of just killing other players. So you'll look for that one specifically if you don't want to have that player versus player kind of game. Now those are your two primary kind of servers. In addition to those, they can add onto the servers, the admins or whoever creates those servers can add headshots only, which from the descriptions, in those kind of servers, enemies can be taken down only by shots to the head. So that's just a little example on that. Now recipe wipe, I'm not really sure how the recipes work, but the description of those is in those kind of servers, recipes wipe on death. So whatever recipe you may have had, whether it be cooking or creating items, when you die, those are gone. You start over. That's an option on servers. The next one is Battle Royale. Now the description for these are Battle Royale is a mode in which players fight to the death until only one remains standing. Those require tickets to access. So depending on the game bundle you can get certain tickets to get into events, and then also I think tickets are sold. So when you get the game, you can buy those in the game and get access to certain events that are going on. Now that's a Battle Royale server right there. If you're interested in joining those, then it's kill until there's only one remaining, and I don't know what happens once that happens. If it's just a server reset, if you gain something cool from that, I'm not sure. You need to look more into that if you're interested in those. And the last option is first person only, and we are all familiar with that. So there's third person players like me who I only enjoy or only prefer to play like that if I'm given the option on games like this. So you only find me on the third person view servers where I can actually see my character, but this one gives certain advantages and disadvantages to players. So if you're used to being able to look over a fence just by bringing your shoulder up to it and looking over your character, you won't be given that kind of opportunity in the first person. So this is more challenging, some would say, for the gameplay. However, if that's what you're into, there's going to be an option for those, which is fantastic the way they mix that up. Now those are really my gripes with this game so far. The biggest two, if those are addressed immediately, then the rest of this is just going to be great. And I'm talking about not being able to log in as quickly as you may need to be. It takes you a couple of times just to get on a server, so that's a big hit. The other one is the fact that you can't interact fluidly with the items that you need to interact with in this game. It took me about a minute to pick up a twig off the floor, which is obviously very bad in a survival game. So that needs to be addressed. And once we get a full stock, a full supply of items in the game that we can use, bandages, drinks, food, weapons, then that's just going to make it even better. So I'm looking forward to that H1Z1. I will be returning. I will be coming back for the gameplay. Now, like I said, if you cannot deal with bugs, do not buy it yet. Wait, read the patch notes, continue to see what developments they make, what fixes they make for this game, because it is going to be great. I can already see that just from my first time. But if you can't deal with those kind of things, please just hold off. Come to H1Z1 when it's a little more polished in the alpha stages of the game. That way your experience can be better than some of ours who are going through the game right now. There's a lot of frustration in some of the players who bought it and are messing with it. So if you can't deal with that, just hold off. It's going to get better, and I hope to see you guys there, man. It's going to be great. Shawn P here. Thank you guys for watching. Leave some comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey, look at that! Look at the zombies in the sky, man! Zombies in the sky! Yeah! Yeah. Cause it's a thriller. Just like zombies in the sky. Rotted flesh like a zombie. Rotted flesh like a zombie. Yeah, look at this motherfucker. Moonwalking like MJ. And he's gone. Oh shit, a deer. A deer. Let's mount the deer. He's not running. Die. Die, deer. Yes, I need to eat. I need to eat. I'm losing energy. Give me food, you fuck. Oh, that's one resilient deer. Oh, shit. Alright, you've earned my respect. You get to live today.